Arthur Smith last week, I came on here and I defended this dude saying that all he needs is a quarterback and he should come back for another year. Well, I got a strong change of heart after witnessing what I saw the Falcons do against the Carolina Panthers, giving them their second win of the season. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys paid attention because a lot of people didn't really go to the game. They didn't really care to watch it in person. Yeah, the Falcons lost to the Carolina Panthers. And you want to know the main reason why they lost that game? Desmond Ridder, a dude who a good amount of Falcons fans believes needs more time to develop, threw the game away in the red zone and allowed Bryce Young to drive the Panthers downfield and set them up for the game-winning field goal. Arthur Smith, this dude is a joke. All right. This dude's supposed to be an offensive-minded coach, but the Falcons' offense is below average. They've invested in skill position players in the last 3 drafts in the first round, and they don't know how to get them the freaking football. You can't get Kyle Pitts the football. Despite how versatile he is, he can play outside receiver, he can play in the slide, he can line up in tight end. This dude is supposed to be a mismatch nightmare. It can't be too hard to give Kyle Pitts the ball. What about Drake London? The only time Drake London gets some action is if Desmond Ridder's just throwing a bomb downfield to him, or if he just happens to get a ball via a screen or maybe a slant. That's about it. They don't feature their best players in this offense. Bijan Robinson, he had a down game last week. Okay, I will agree that maybe Tyler Algier should have gotten more touches than Bijan in that game. But there's no reason why Bijan Robinson should have been underutilized the way that he's had over the last couple of weeks. You look at Jahmyr Gibbs and what the hell he's doing for the Detroit Lions. Why can't Bijan Robinson be doing the same thing? He needs to be featured in his offense, not just more in the ground game, but more in the passing game. Desmond Ridder is a quarterback that you cannot trust with the game on the line. He's a turnover machine. And we don't even know if Arthur Smith even plans on starting this dude anymore. If I'm Arthur Smith, I'm not starting Desmond Ridder anymore. I'm kicking that dude to the curb. When you are a coach and you have an offense that is centered around ball control and pounding the rock, you can't afford mistakes. And Desmond Ridder has too many mistakes in the worst moments of games, man. Arthur Smith has to go. If you can't find a way to get Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and Drake London the ball, dudes who you wanted to get in the first round of the last couple of drafts, you don't deserve to be called an offensive-minded coach. If you specialize in a certain area of the football, that should never be the worst part of your team. The Falcons' defense is the only reason why this team has 6 wins. If it wasn't for how good this defense has been playing this year, this team will probably be a 3-4 win team right now. They're 6-8. They still have a chance to turn their season around. But as far as Arthur Smith coming back to this team in 2024, absolutely not. They need to go ahead and tell him to clean out this clean out that office right now. Go get some Kleenex, go get you a mop, go get you some Fabuloso and clean that thing out for the next head coach, because he doesn't need to come back to the A. This dude is an atrocity. No way you have 3 of the most talented players on your roster who you invested first round picks in and you don't know how to get them the football. I watched the game when I saw Arthur Smith cook up a tight end pass with Jonnu Smith. And what the hell happened to Jonnu Smith? Is he injured? What happened to him? Because Arthur Smith ain't even using him no more. Like, Arthur Smith is not a good head coach. He's like the equivalent to what Jeff Fisher was when he was going 8-8 every single season with the LA Rams. And even with the better quarterback, do you think that really is going to make anything better? Getting a better quarterback may sound like a good idea, and it may give you a little bit more reason to give Arthur Smith another year. But if this dude can't even get Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson involved, what makes you think that he has what it takes to develop a young quarterback? Like, I don't believe in Arthur Smith. All right, this dude is in year 3 right now. And year 3 is when a coach shows you if he deserves to remain the head coach for the foreseeable future of your organization, or if you need to part ways with him. The only exception is Robert Saleh because Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Outside of that, there's no other head coach in the history of this league that has had a losing record their first 3 years, and then all of a sudden in year 4, they just figure it out. Arthur Smith can't even win a weak division. When I was talking to Falcons fans before this season, the reason for them having so much optimism for why they could win this division and make it to the playoffs was because they had an easy schedule and they didn't play a lot of good quarterbacks. Well, you don't play a lot of great quarterbacks, but you don't have a good quarterback yourself, and you don't have a good head coach. You get Justin Fields. I don't think Arthur Smith is going to know what to do with that. You get Jaden Daniels in the first round. I doubt Arthur Smith is going to know what to do with that. You really think that this dude is going to know what to do with a young quarterback, and he doesn't even know what to do with the best young pieces that he has on his team? Arthur Smith, he's finished as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. If the Falcons owner had any common sense, he'll fire this dude if they lose to Indianapolis this Sunday, and it's going to happen. You want to know why they're going to lose to Indy? Because Indy has the better coaching staff. Indianapolis is 8-6, competing for the AFC South Division, currently occupying one of the final wildcard spots in the playoffs with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. Shane Steichen is winning with Gardner Minshew, and yet Arthur Smith is playing musical chairs with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke. I don't know why people were even so infatuated with Desmond Ridder and the potential that he had anyway. This dude was getting comparisons to Alex Smith. And he doesn't even play anywhere close to Alex Smith because Alex Smith took care of the football. That was his MO. He was the definition of a game manager. Desmond Ridder can't even do that. If anything, he's a worse or more athletic version of Jameis Winston. At least Jameis Winston would throw hella interceptions, but he'll come back and throw hell of touchdowns. Arthur Smith, as far as his future in Atlanta, it should be done. It should be grits. His office needs to be cleaned out. He needs to go ahead and do the heavy lifting so the janitors don't have to do it for him, and just clean that office up for the new head coach who Atlanta brings in if they fire this dude. He doesn't need to come back. You can't even win the weakest division in the NFL. This division's 2 best quarterbacks are Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles currently occupy the top spot in this division. That's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Like, if you can't win this division, you don't deserve to be a head coach. It's just simple. It may sound harsh and it may be hard to hear if you're a Falcons fan, but most of you guys know the truth. You don't need 4 years to know if you have a good head coach or not. It only takes 3 years. Arthur Smith has had 3 years to build this team up. Mention with the whole stuff about the salary cap and all the salary cap penalties that you have to pay. Who cares? You got 3 first-round picks on this team, and Arthur Smith can't even get them the football, man. This dude needs to go ASAP. And if anything, if he doesn't want to clean his office out for him, hell, I'll go up there to Atlanta. I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks. I'll help clean out that man's office because I want to see this dude out of Atlanta. This team is a quarterback and a good head coach away from being a playoff caliber team, and maybe a few more pieces away from being a Super Bowl contender. If they can fix the offensive line and continue to improve that defense, hell, make their defensive coordinator the head coach. Hell, at least his side of the ball is taking care of things. His side of the ball is the only reason why you still have an outside chance of winning this division and making it to the playoffs. The Falcons have so much talent, and yet it's gone to waste because you have an offensive-minded coach who really isn't an offensive-minded coach. I don't know what this dude is. I can't call you an offensive-minded coach if the offense sucks. And now you're back playing musical chairs at quarterback. What are you going to do, man? You should have started Taylor Heineke for the remainder of this season. I don't know why he made the decision to go back to Desmond Ridder. That's like breaking up with your girlfriend because she continues to do the same thing over and over again. And then you go right back to her thinking that things are going to be different. And she does the exact same thing again. That's what this situation is with Arthur Smith and Desmond Ridder. He really thought that sitting Desmond Ridder for a couple of games all of a sudden was going to erase his turnover problems. It hasn't. This dude is not a good head coach, man. Like, I'm tired of Arthur Smith. And what even has me even more pissed about this situation is that I got Bijan Robinson on my fantasy team, man. So, yeah, I do have a little bit more bias towards wanting Arthur Smith gone out of Atlanta because he has wasted one of the better running back prospects that we've seen come out in recent memory. Like, bro, when are we going to start seeing Bijan Robinson lining up in the slot? I get that Tyler Algier is a really good running back and you also want to get Cordell Patterson involved, but use Bijan Robinson as a receiver. That's what made him such a polarizing prospect coming out of Texas. How he can impact the game in a variety of different ways. He's not a traditional running back. He should be doing the same thing that we see Jahmyr Gibbs doing right now with the Detroit Lions. But you want to know the difference in situations between Bijan and Jahmyr? Jahmyr actually has a good coordinator, a good play caller, Ben Johnson. You know who Bijan Robinson has? A dude who has a mustache that damn near looks like Adolf Hitler. This dude doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And at one point, I thought that the Falcons were going to change and, exceed my expectations because I had this team nowhere more than 7-8 wins. And at first, with how they played this year and how Desmond Ridder was looking, I was like, okay, maybe I doubted these boys a little bit too much. Let me see what they got. And then all of a sudden, they start losing games. Like, you lost to the Carolina Panthers in front of a home crowd full of only 5,000 people. They were selling the tickets for $3, man. Like, you allow Bryce Young to get the ball back and engineer a game-winning drive? That's embarrassing. That was supposed to be an easy win. That was supposed to be a gimme. That was supposed to keep you not just in the hunt for this division, but also in the hunt for the 7th seed or the 6th seed potentially. Arthur Smith is a garbage head coach, man. He is not good. He may be a good coordinator, but he doesn't have what it takes to be the next head coach of the Falcons that can take them back to the Super Bowl, which seems like such a long time ago. Like, it seems like, it's been 20 years since they had that 28-3 meltdown to Tom Brady and the Patriots. And ever since then, this franchise has been nothing but downhill. They just can't get it right. When are they going to get rid of Arthur Smith, man? This dude has to go. It's crazy how I was on here saying that he ain't that bad of a head coach, but if they brought him back, I wouldn't be mad at it. All he needs is a quarterback. But the more I watch this team play, and before you say, man, JT, you don't know what you talking about. You ain't no Falcons fan. I've watched about 70% of the Falcons games, either live or on replay, because I got Bijan Robinson on my fantasy team. I invested a first-round pick in Bijan Robinson. So, of course, I'm going to watch a handful of your games, man. And every time I watch this team play, you either got a Desmond Ridder turnover, you got stupid play calling by Arthur Smith. I would never get over that tight end pass when they played against the Tennessee Titans in the red zone. That was one of the dumbest play calls I've seen all year long. Arthur Smith, he needs to go. He needs the pink slip. He doesn't need another year. If he gets another year and they get another quarterback in there, I may have just a tad bit of optimism. But why get optimistic about getting a new quarterback when this dude doesn't even know how to use the 3 best players on his offense who he invested first-round picks in? Then don't say, man, JT, Arthur Smith ain't draft those players. That's a GM. Arthur Smith wanted Bijan Robinson. Nobody's taking a running back in the first round anymore unless your head coach wants one. Okay? Nobody's taking a tight end, top 5, top 10 to draft if your head coach doesn't want one. All right? That's just how it goes. He's an offensive-minded coach, and the Falcons have went offense in the first round the last 3 years of the draft. He wanted those guys. They got those guys for him. He has the pieces to the puzzle, and yet he keeps trying to make the wrong pieces fit. He's giving the ball to everybody else but the players who he drafted in the first round. Like, I can keep going on and on about this guy. And the more I keep talking about him, the more frustrated I get. The more I keep talking about Arthur Smith and how he's underutilize the talent on his team, the more I want this dude fired. Drake London is one of the more physically gifted wide receivers in the league, and he barely gets any opportunities. Bijan Robinson should be lined up out wide, being utilized as a wide receiver, not just a running back. And Kyle Pitts is a weapon. You can line this dude up anywhere. Arthur Smith has all these great chess pieces, and yet he only looks like he knows how to play checkers. Get rid of this guy. I'm not a Falcons fan, but I do have a little bit of love for this team. This kind of is like my second favorite team, believe it or not, because I'm from the city of Atlanta. Oh, JT, you from Atlanta? Where was you born at? Grady. I'm a Grady baby. And if you are from the A and you're an ATLian, you know why those Grady babies are something special. But Arthur Smith, I want this dude to get the hell out of Atlanta, man. Like, please, get this dude out. Get Ben Johnson. Get a real offensive-minded coach. Imagine if you had Sean Payton coaching this team right now. Even if you did have Desmond Ridder at QB, Sean Payton would have Desmond Ridder looking way better than what he's had look under Arthur Smith. When they got rid of Marcus Mariota, it was because you couldn't trust this dude in late game situations because he was so clumsy with taking care of the football. Well, you got the same thing in Desmond Ridder. If anything, Desmond Ridder is more Marcus Mariota than he is Alex Smith. He's done the same shit that Mariota did last year, giving the game away in the fourth quarter. Get this dude out of my face. Get this dude out of Atlanta and tell him to go ahead and take Desmond Ridder with him. He can get the boot too.